Storm.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bad Takes podcast. Just gonna be me and Aaron tonight. Blake's still on vacation, so me and Aaron are just gonna go over it. We're gonna talk about the first round of the NBA playoffs officially over after tonight. Warriors winning Game 7, moving on to the second round, and then we're gonna dive into some MLB stuff. We're gonna go over our AL and NL MVPs for the first month, and then our biggest surprises and what we thought of the first month of baseball.
So let's go ahead and recap that game seven. So good game. I figured Warriors were gonna have to hit the three ball to win it. Buddy Hield super clutch there, probably like the one of the best games of his career easily. Look at this, yeah, he's all mad. We were arguing in the group chat about Draymond Green earlier. I'm saying that every
I'm
team
not
should have
mad
a
about
Draymond Green.
I'm not mad about the Warriors winning. I think it's good for basketball. I actually predicted my finals prediction is the Warriors and the Celtics going to the finals. So I think the Warriors can win the West. I just don't like Warrior fans. All they do is cry and cry and cry. This team sucks. This team sucks. Steph Curry, this Draymond Green, this, and then they win. Oh my God, Buddy Hield's the greatest player of all time. This team is so bad. I just
I
can't
never
stand them. I just
said
hate
Buddy
Warrior
Hield
fans.
was the greatest
I
player of
just
all
hate
time.
Warrior fans. I just hate them. I
Get
go
off
on
Twitter,
Twitter.
bud.
The season's over, guys. Dub Nation. It was
Yeah,
a great
bud.
season. Blah blah blah. And then this game comes around and everyone's like, "Oh my God, I knew we were gonna win. This team is so amazing. We're so clutch. Shout out Buddy Hield. I knew we should have keep playing him." Like,
No, no. They should.
I just
They
don't
got
like.
lucky that he had a generational performance tonight
Yeah, Buddy Hield
because
was great tonight. Curry was really surprising that he only had like 3 points going into
that
the
didn't
half.
surprise me.
I texted our group chat that I thought that game was over after the first quarter because the Warriors were controlling the pace of play
Robo
and they
aha
were very
killer.
good. And they were very good defensively. And Curry had 0 points. And they were up 8. I'm like, oh yeah, this game's over. Third quarter, I really thought that the Rockets. I thought I was wrong. I was like, oh, the Rockets are actually going to come back. Like I think they can complete this. I think Thompson tweaking his ankle or his heel, whatever it
It's his
was,
calf.
that took the calf that took him out of the game and had to sit for a while. He eventually comes back, but he wasn't the same. The way that he was attacking the basket, the way that he was playing defense, he was really the motor and like the energy that the Rockets needed. After he went down, that game slipped from them.
Yeah,
They
it's
lost all
lame.
momentum. Um, it sucks the injuries have a part, but at the end of the day, the Rockets only hit four threes. I don't even know how many threes they took, but I know at one point in the first quarter we were like 10 minutes in or like 7 minutes into the first quarter. They didn't even rip a three yet. So it was a really interesting game plan from the Rockets. It didn't work out. I think they're a very good team. I'm very excited to see what the Rockets do in the future. The Warriors are scary, man. The Warriors are a scary team. Jimmy Butler has the ability to turn it on at any given moment. He's one of the most clutch players. He's great in the playoffs. He's just a clutch guy. He gives me nightmares from Miami when he made the Celtics' life just miserable, just locking up our guys and just hitting random shots. I'm like, dude, Jimmy Butler's not this good. But in the playoffs,
Jimmy
he's a
Butler
different
is
beast.
not. I
Like in the
say,
playoffs, he's a different player. In the regular season, he's solid, but like he's I don't know, he just turns it up a notch in the playoffs. Like he has that it factor. Curry, solid game. He found ways to win that game without his scoring. He played great defense. I think he finished with 10 rebounds, which is crazy for a point guard his size and just going up against the Rockets' big lineup for him to come down with 10 rebounds. He playmakered very well. The game plan was obviously to not let Curry score, and the Rockets did a great job of that. Everyone else started to hit their shots. At some point, you got to chalk it up. But overall, the Warriors played great. Draymond had a good game. He shot the ball way too much, and I think that's what also made me upset for Rockets fans that Draymond was so not involved, but he put up so many shots. I'm like, you guys need to take advantage of this lackluster Warrior offense, and they just couldn't. It was really contested shots. It felt like they were trying to stop the pace of play by drawing fouls and trying to just slow the game down. It just didn't work in their favor. And that's not saying the refs because they shot way more free throws than the Warriors. I think they shot 24-7, I believe. That was like the amount of shots they put up compared to the Warriors. But overall, good first round. Congrats to the Warriors. Um, rest of the playoffs was kind of okay. The Denver, they went to 7. They blew out the Clippers in Game 7, which honestly was
not
kind of disappointing
surprising.
because it wasn't surprising, but it was disappointing because I really thought Kawhi was going to come back. They were going to take out the Nuggets and like it was going to kind of shake things up for what people were predicting in the playoffs. Um, Nevertheless, obviously they didn't. Detroit, man. Shout out Detroit. Detroit won two playoff games for the first time in like 17 years. They didn't win a home game. They still have to win a home game, but shout out Detroit. I honestly did not think they were going to really play that good against the Knicks. They went in there and they made it a great series. I'm very excited for Detroit basketball. I was so sad. I was watching the last play, like I was watching the game at work, and like I didn't know what the play was, but you can see it developing. And Cade kicks it to Beasley, and Beasley just loses the ball and it goes out of bounds. And he had a wide open look to tie the game. It's a really sad way for Detroit to go out, but nevertheless, it was a great season. The Celtics dominated, the Cavs dominated. Um,
Indiana stole game one
um,
today.
Indiana did still game one today. I think Darius Garland obviously not playing is going to impact their change of their pace and how quick they can get up and down the court and score and transition and things like that. But overall, Indiana, they're a good team.
They're a
They're
good
they're a
team.
team that's built for the playoffs. Regular season, they don't impress you because they're not super flashy. But when it comes to the playoffs, they are a playoff basketball team. I was kind of scared at some points last year that they were going to surprise Boston the way the games were getting really close. But I'm excited for that matchup a lot. I'm not worried about the Knicks at all. I think Boston five.
Boston in five.
Boston in five. But what are your takes on the playoffs?
I'm happy the Warriors moved on. Oh, dude, did I get on the hate train already? Do I start just shin on the Lakers while I'm ahead? Dude,
Let's go for it. Let's start right there. Round one.
so happy the Lakers are gone. Hate. I
I'm
texted my dad after the game was over, and I literally said, "Successful hate watch complete." Shout out Ant Man. You know, they're.
Anthony Edwards, man.
I'm already having nightmares about Rudy Gobert and Nas Reed and telling you, dude, Ant Man's incredible. Like Minnesota, if they knock out Golden State, I'm gonna keep rooting for them to win all. I'd love to see Ant Man hoist the trophy, but Denver, I like Jokic. I like them. I like Murray and Jokic, dude. I just like. I really like. I guess how I really like how Denver's built because like Aaron Gordon, I think was the leading scorer last night. He's just a baller, dude. He's just a good basketball player, and I feel like there's not a lot of those anymore. If that makes sense,
the older generation.
like he just
Aaron Gordon is a more like 2010s basketball player. He's
he
not
just plays
pulling up
hard
30,
and
and yeah, he just plays he just plays more traditional basketball if you want to call it
yeah,
that.
he's
He's like a
not
traditional big
putting up
have a three
threes.
ball, but he's
Just like a
overall
traditional
Aaron.
four.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon just plays the game in a not a certain way, but he just plays it a lot like older than I guess other guys do. You just kind of watch basketball now what like you expect out of the fours and the fives, like Wemby and Embiid and Cat and like Julius Randle. Like those guys are like not saying they're all on the same level, but those are some of the fours and the fives. Like Jokic,
GTA
the way that
6
they play.
before Embiid makes a conference finals.
Yeah, and dude, I'm a Philly hater till I die. I will not the Eagles, but like just the Sixers in general. I love when they like just lose. It just makes me so happy. It's a successful hate watch. It made me so happy that Paul George was like, "Oh, I'm gonna stop the podcast to focus on the championship. Get on the pod, buddy. Get on the pod. You got to
You
make the
know,
playoffs first."
you know what my favorite part of the Warriors 22 run was listening to Draymond's yapping on his podcast after the games.
After the games, dude, I was so mad. I'd get so mad when he would post a comment when he would post a thing about this on in the Celtics series, where I'd get so mad. It'd bring a second level of rage.
But we haven't talked about
But the MVP,
OKC. OKC is probably still the team to beat. Obviously, they're so damn good. Obviously, Golden State has
yeah,
a
that's
championship pedigree. No one else. Well, so does Denver. But I think the second round matchups in the West are going to be good. The East, you're probably right. Boston probably wins in five, or if it's six, it's because they just laid an egg in one game. Probably won in New York. But all in all, the West is so much better than the Eastern Conference, dude.
I don't think so. I really disagree. I think the Celtics and the Cavs are the two best teams in the NBA.
No, I think
I think
OKC is up there.
I'm not sold on. I think OKC is really good. I just think they're just really young.
They're really young.
Um, I'm ex I'm excited to see what they do against Denver. I'm really excited for the matchup on how Denver game plans for Shea, how they can try to take him out. What's OKC and Chet gonna do against Jokic? Is he gonna be able to just is he gonna bully him? Are they gonna attack him? Like what is OKC gonna try to expose? What is Denver going to expose? I think that's going to be a 7 game series.
I don't think
I
so.
think Denver's going to be able. I think Denver's going to be able to hang around with them, but I think OKC just puts points up. They just can just shoot the lights
Yeah.
out. They're such an explosive offense. They're so fast. They're fundamentally just a great basketball team. They check every box. They have everything they need to be successful. Um, I can't wait for this Warriors and Timberwolves matchup. That was honestly the
Dude,
matchup I
this
really
matchup
wanted.
is gonna get so
It's,
chippy so fast.
it's going to be a great matchup. I'm so excited to see how the Warriors attack Ant and how to try to get him out of his groove.
Draymond's gonna kick
Um,
him.
I'm really I'm really excited to see what the Warriors do and what how the Timberwolves try to combat what is more than likely going to be these Curry pick and rolls to get guys like Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert on him on the perimeter. How is Minnesota going to handle that? How much is Curry going to be able to kill the pick and roll? Um, I think the bench is going to be a really big thing in this series. I think it's going to come down to the benches. It's going to come down to key role player guys, similar to how tonight came down with Buddy Hield and other guys coming into the game. I expect Ant and Jimmy and Steph and
They're all gonna do their thing.
I expect them to all do their thing. I expect all these guys to have a great series. It's going to come down to their bench and coaching at the end of the day. It's really going to come down to mismatches and matchups, but I cannot wait to see Curry versus Ant. Ant loves to guard the best guy. I think he will be seeing him play Curry. I think we'll also see some Jaden McDaniels on Curry. I wonder how McDaniels is going to handle against Curry. He's kind of like a perimeter guy that tries to take away the 3 point line. So it's going to be really interesting. Tonight, obviously the Cavs lost. I'm not worried about it if I'm Cleveland. Depends on how long Garland's going to be out. Is Garland going to be out for a long time? That's really going to be the kicker here because when I get Garland back, he honestly makes that offense so much better. And it's not a knock on anyone on that team and Donovan Mitchell. It's just when Garland plugs in, they just go to the next gear. That's all it is. So when they get him back, he's gonna. I don't think Indiana's gonna be able to hang with them. But Indiana is a good team. They can put points up on the scoreboard. They play great defense. I think Tyrese was amazing tonight. He played a great game. Everyone says that he's a bad defender,
I
but
don't see it.
tonight, stop the count. He is proven that he is a leader, that he can play both sides of the ball very well, and that he can very much carry his team to playoff wins. Are they going to be able to win this series? I personally don't think so. I think Cavs are going to have it in 6. I didn't give my predictions for the last matchup. Sorry, I have the Warriors in 6 too. I just think the Warriors are just a better team than Minnesota. I think Minnesota's great. I think they're just not going to be enough to stop Curry and Jimmy Butler. I think that just offense is going to be too much for them. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up. And then for the Celtics, like I said, we own the Knicks. The Celtics beat the Knicks. I think it was 4 times. I think they went 4-0 this year or 3-0. However many times they played the Knicks, I don't think they lost to them this year. It's going to be a good series. I think the games will be close, but I think we're going to see Boston in 5, and that's what I got.
Boston in 5, Golden State in 6. I'm gonna take Denver. No, I'm not gonna take Denver. I'm gonna take Oklahoma City over Denver in 5, just because I think that Denver won't be able to match up with their offense unless Jokic and Murray are combining for like almost 80 points between the two of them, which is just absurd. Maybe, Porter Jr. is going to have to, maybe if those three can pile in for about 90 between the three of them, they can do it to match that OKC offense. But I say OKC in 5, and then
KC in
honestly,
5?
OKC
Hold
in
on, no,
5.
no, no, hold on. 5? No way, dude. I think
5.
that's going to be a 7 game series. I think it's going to come
I don't
down to
think
Jokic and
so.
Murray. I think Jokic is going to just cause too much, bro. I don't think they have anyone on that team that can stop him.
Yeah, I mean, Chet's not going to stop him,
I
but
don't know who's going to be on. If it's going to be Chet or what they're going to do, but anyways, um, next.
Boston 5, and then I would go with, I think because of the Garland injury, I think it's probably going to go to 7. Cleveland's a very hard place to win in 7. One of the few places in the NBA that has like a true home court advantage. Also, I'll be surprised if Indiana wins that series. And then Indiana gets their second attempt at Boston from last year. How many games did it go to last year? Did it go to 5 or 6? Didn't go to 7,
Actually, I
did
don't
it?
remember. I
I
think it
know.
went to 6.
I know the Eastern Conference
Uh,
Finals was harder for them than the finals were, but And
I'm
then
pretty sure they won in six. Or did they? Oh, I think they swept them. Yeah, they swept them.
they did.
Yeah, they swept them. They won
You
in
know
overtime.
what? Indiana blew like all
They
those games.
Yeah, Indiana choked
I think
like
they
two
like
of them.
blew all those games that they should have like
Three,
been up
three,
2-1 or something or 3-0
three of
or
the three of the games were well, game three was a 3-point game. Game four was a 3-point game, and in game one they went to overtime. The only game
that's
Boston
right.
won, only
Outright
game
was
that
2.
Boston really like won was 126 to 110 in game two.
But
So yeah, they did sweep, but it didn't feel like a sweep.
I think Golden State or Oklahoma. Honestly, the Western Conference Finals I think is going to be better than the NBA Finals because I think the Western
Oh,
Conference Finals, no matter what your matchup is, you're going to go 7 games. And in the East,
interesting.
I don't know. Boston and Cleveland can be really good.
Boston and Cleveland's had a good matchup.
I
Yeah,
think Boston is superior than Indiana pretty much on like most positions, and I think that Boston probably wins again in 5 or 6. But Indiana's been playing
yeah.
good ball as of late. But yeah, I think that right now, if Golden State wasn't to go, they'd be my pick out of the West. I would say okay, or not OKC. I could see Minnesota. I think Minnesota can go as far as Anthony Edwards can take them. Because last year he obviously ran out of steam at the end, which is why they lost to Dallas.
Yeah. Well, no, I think they. Oh yeah, no, you're right. I don't
He
know.
hella ran out of steam, dude.
It's
That series before him like killed him.
it's gonna be interesting to see like what transpires. Obviously in this year's playoff run. But I'm excited for it. I know the NBA right now has a bad rep in terms of ratings and overall the production of what they have. But I'm excited to see this next round. We're down to the final eight. I think these are honestly the best matchups we could have gotten. I think the Thunder and Nuggets is going to be a great matchup. I think all of these series. I think the West is going to be a bloodbath. Um, I
Hmm.
definitely think the comparison to Cleveland to Indiana and Boston to New York is lesser than like the Thunder and the Nuggets. Like those two teams are a lot closer. Um, and then the Warriors and the Timberwolves, those teams are a lot closer. Not saying that they're the Knicks are bad or the Pacers are bad, but just like I think the Celtics and the Cavs just have the East like in a chokehold. Like those are the two teams out of the East. That's
Right
what
now,
people
yeah.
expect. That's what we're going to see. Where in the West, you really don't know what you're going to get. You don't know like
It's about 6 or 7
the
teams in
Warriors.
there that could really win it all.
Yeah, like the Warriors almost blew this 3-1 lead, but they're very easily able. They could have easily won the series in five. They could easily go in the Minnesota and the way that they play and the way that they're coached and their DNA and the championship pedigree, all that thing. They can easily win the series. Also, Ant can go out there and just take another guy down. He's taking KD down. He's taking LeBron down. Luca, like he's the Minnesota. They're playoff killers. That's what they are. Like that's just they get in and they're dangerous. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this all pans out. I'm very excited for the second round. Obviously, tomorrow we're going to get the Nuggets and the Thunder, and we're going to get the Celtics and the Knicks. So tomorrow should be a fun day of NBA basketball.
It looks like my goat just landed in Camino right on time. Speaking of goats and freaks, let's talk about the Greek freak, dude. I don't think he is out of Milwaukee. I don't think so.
No, I don't think he's going to leave Milwaukee. I think they're just going to reset the board in terms of what they're going to bring to the table. I think we're going to see a lot different of a basketball team next year, but I don't think Giannis is out of Milwaukee. The problem is, I think Giannis needs to be the guy. He needs to be the number one. He needs to have the ball. He's not. It's not that he can't share the court.
They should have
It's that I don't
never.
think Giannis fits. I don't think Giannis fits on a lot of these other teams. I mean, he does, but I don't know if that makes sense. I don't
They
know.
should
I don't
have
think he leaves
never.
Milwaukee.
They should have never traded away Chris Middleton. That was not smart. They probably
Yeah,
should
I
never got
didn't.
rid of never moved away from Drew Holiday either.
They had a
Holiday
very
is
good team
such
built.
a he's
And
such a glue guy.
yeah, they had a really good team in Milwaukee, and I mean they brought in Dame, and I get it, it's Dame, and I feel really bad for him because I think he's a great player. I think he's just
He's
dealing with a lot of
probably
injuries and he's getting
he's probably
older.
done
I
now.
think I don't think it's Dame's fault, and I don't think it was a bad trade. Like I see what Milwaukee was trying to accomplish because they were coming up short. They weren't winning.
You know
They had to
what?
switch something up.
I got a interesting take, and might be a little controversial, but I think what we've seen in the NBA over the past few years, and obviously I haven't followed it as closely as I did back in the, when the Warriors were on their dynasty run. But one thing
I
I've
know you're
seen,
an NBA fan.
not casual, but I know it's funny because I'll sit here and watch the Padres go like 0 and 162 and watch every game, but what I've seen from the NBA, my take is from someone who was like a diehard, watched every game, to has kind of been more casual because of football and other things. Whatever, that's not important. But what I've seen is that it really, these teams that have won the championship are just well built teams. And I think this is probably the most obvious talking point, maybe, but I feel like these teams that are thrown together, hell, haven't worked. And I think that's why LeBron hasn't had a lot of success out west so far. And overall, I would argue that's why he has only won 4 championships, because he basically has handpicked his teams, and there's no real chemistry there. Like when the Raptors won in, was it 19? That was a damn good built team. That team was good, and then you installed a great player, a superstar player into it, and it worked. And I feel like the Suns, we'll use them as an example. They had a great team when they lost to the Bucks in the finals, and now they like are trying to cheat by just trying to add these star players with KD and Bradley Beal, and it just hasn't worked. Same thing with the Nets, and now the Nets are just screwed. They're like the Saints of the NBA. I mean, they got some young talent there, so they're not as screwed. But I think that's the thing, is just the team building aspect of the NBA is really bad at the moment. I think that's why teams like OKC are really good. That's why the Rockets are going to be really good. The Rockets got good veteran players like Dylan Brooks and Steven Adams that are good guys to have on your team around all these young guys. For the most part, the Timberwolves are pretty damn well homegrown. I think the Knicks, they're a pretty well built team, and then they added Karl Anthony Towns to make them even better. I think that's where these teams have done team building correctly. And then you look at just these super teams that are just no longer working because there's no backbone. There's no, like, the team has no spine, if that makes sense. Nothing to nothing to take a hit. They don't have good role players. Denver, another excellent example of a team that is well built so damn good. Why am I blanking on who the 3 seed is right now? Oh, it was the Lakers. Another
The
team
Lakers lost.
that was thrown together in the middle of the season. And you can win games in the regular season, but when it comes to these series where you need to be a great team, you fall apart. The Cavs
Honestly,
built
I
well.
think I
Celtics
think
built well.
I think for the Lakers, their situation is that they failed to acquire a big man,
Golden
and I
State
think
doesn't
that
have a
team would have
big
been
man, and they
so
got past a team that has 2 fantastic big men. Don't get me
the
wrong, Gobert's
the
like the
Lakers
best defensive center in
the Lakers would have
basketball.
beat the Rockets. The Lakers
Nah,
would have beat the Rockets.
do we know that for sure though?
Yes. The Lakers would have been in
Yeah,
there and they
I
would
mean
have beat the
ants. So,
they would have beat the Rockets. They would have beat the Rockets.
but I
But
still think when they
I don't
played an OKC or a why am I blank? Oh, I love that I always blank when we start recording. Denver, I think they would have really struggled because these teams are built well. They're built to win. They have a lot of good depth. They have a lot of good pieces. Denver has the whole fiasco with coaching, but I think that stuff, just having a good team overall, kind of overlays that. I won't throw the Warriors into that, even though the Warriors, for the most part, are built pretty well. Just for the fact that the Lakers have the Warriors' number, it seems like, for whatever reason. It just seems like LeBron goes back, turns the clock back like 20 years whenever he faces Curry, like it's his mortal enemy or something. But all in all,
go.
that's what I got on the NBA playoffs. I think that we're going to see these well-built teams go the furthest. I think that's why the Pacers give teams such a hard time in the playoffs, and they're such a pesky team. And I think that's what hurts the Bucks is they are not that anymore. They tried to kind of start cheating around the system, and they did it with Dame, and it didn't work out because Dame and Giannis probably don't have the greatest chemistry. Whereas Chris Middleton was fantastic in the role he was playing, and he could be the guy. He could be the guy that could put up big points if they needed that. But that's enough NBA discussion for now. Obi-Wan is officially looking at checking out the clones right now in Camino. Let's talk a little baseball. Man, who's your biggest
What are you
surprise so far? I'm watching Attack of the Bro, it's Star Wars Day. I'm watching Attack of the Clones. That is my secretly my favorite Star Wars movie. But yeah, let's go ahead and baseball, dude. Biggest surprise for me, honestly, I would say it's the
easily?
Royals, not the
I say
Giants.
easily mine's the Giants. Well, dude, I'm a Giants
I would
fan, and
honestly, I'd say
I
my realistic biggest surprise is the Padres actually started the season out good after the last 2 years they did not start good.
yeah, the NL West is an absolute bloodbath, and I just didn't expect the Giants to play this good. Like obviously the Giants year in and year out, they're always tied to these. Oh, we're gonna get Shohei. Oh, we're gonna get Aaron Judge. Oh, we're gonna get all of these guys. Like I think this year it was I can't think of the pitcher's name, but there was a pitcher that the Giants were tied to.
Corbin
There was like two of
Burns
them. Yes, thank you.
and
And
Snell.
they didn't go and get him. Yeah, and Snell obviously leaves, and the Giants are kind of in this weird position where they're young but they're old. But some of the old guys are really good, and some of the old guys can turn it back. So it's a really interesting team. But and obviously last year just it didn't work out very well, and this year they added Adames, who had a great game today, two solo home runs. I think his first two home runs or his first home runs in like Oracle. The bats were hot. Logan Webb finally got run support for the first time in 10 years. Overall, the Giants overall they just keep answering the call. 22-13 on the year. They're a game and a half back in the division. I have to say they're my biggest surprise just because I, as a Giants fan, did not expect this. I kind of thought we'd be kind of more around that 18-16, maybe 16-19, 17-18 record where like, oh, this team might do something. They're probably going to be a
Borderline
500,
500.
maybe. Yeah, that's probably going to be the type of team they are this year. Maybe they'll go on a winning streak, maybe they'll acquire somebody, whatever. But they've been one of the best teams in baseball since baseball started. It was not just a streak. I feel like they've been very consistent. Sometimes the run support is as mediocre, but overall, they are easily my biggest surprise.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I'd say the Padres because they had a good start, but I was thinking the Royals were going to win the AL Central, and they are kind of that stereotypical, like hovering around 500 right now. Bobby Witt hasn't
19
been
and 6.
as great as I thought he would be to start the season. So I would say they're kind of my biggest surprise. Biggest disappointment seems easily Baltimore. Thought they would win the division with ease, kind of like they did last year. I think the Yankees might have gave them some hell at some point in the year, but Baltimore's pitching is
Baltimore
so bad, dude.
sitting
So
at
bad.
13 and 20. It's just not looking good. I saw some guys
Same with the
obviously on Twitter.
Braves.
I live on there. That the Giants might want to call up the Orioles and giving them some pitching and we get some bats. I personally
That's
think
that's what.
the Giants are in a good spot where they don't need to do anything right now. I think they kind of need to wait and out and see. Maybe they call one of their guys up in the farm in terms of pitching and maybe an extra bat to kind of see. I don't think they should sell just because the farm and the team is getting better. The farm is growing. I'm not really in on the Giants. Like I saw someone trying to say like, oh, the Giants trade for Matt Olson. I doubt the Braves would even trade Matt Olson, and even if they did, they'd have to give up a lot. And I don't really think the Giants are in the position. I think the ball team is finally turning it around in terms of everything starting to click. Like it's all starting to come together for them. So I like where they're at a lot. But yeah, Baltimore 13 and 20. That's kind of I really didn't expect that. Also, the A's 3 games above 500 coming into May. Maybe all bad teams should go play in minor league parks.
Well, not bad. They're hella young. They
They
got
are
a
a really
bunch of
young team.
studs
They're
on that
very young.
team. Tyler Soderstrom, Jacob Wilson. They got a bunch of good players. Mason Miller's awesome. Luis Severino's been a good free agent pickup for them so far. The A's are, we got to go up there and catch a game or two for sure. Go check out that
No,
ballpark.
bro. You know how expensive they are? They're like
They
$70.
dude, they
I'm not
went
spending
down.
70.
They went down. They've tanked. The ticket price is tanked. Well, I'm gonna fact check you right now, bro. Let me pull up a SeatGeek. This is not a sponsored video, but SeatGeek, if you want to sponsor us, hook us up. Send us to some. Send us to San Diego for free. You gotta take Blake and Darick to Petco. Petco is awesome. I love how I start typing in Petco right in the search. Tomorrow night we could go to the A's and Mariners game for $10. I think that's out in the bleacher seats. We could sit down the first base line for like $40 a pop. We could sit behind. No, we could sit behind home plate, the cheapest seat. That's like relatively close is like
Eric, focus
68,
up.
72. What?
Focus up. But we're not talking about these tickets right
No,
now.
I'm just
I'm
trying
not
to. I'm
playing.
trying to show you that the A's tickets are not as brutal as is what this fake
I
news
don't know.
stuff you're seeing on
I can
Reddit
pay just that much
and
and go to
Twitter.
Oracle Park. I can go to Oracle Park and pay just as much and see a way better team, have a way better view, have way better food, and be in an actual ballpark.
Or or we could
No,
be.
no, there's nothing else to say. No.
I'll tell you this: you cannot go to Sacramento. You cannot go to an A's game during the day. Not with how hot the valley
Brutal.
gets. It's over.
It can be
It's
tough.
over if you go. Anyways, enough about the A's and their ticket prices. I mean, they've been playing good ball. Like I wish we kind of did like a predictions video because I always said they could be a sneaky wild card team depending on how good the NL West or AL West is. Seattle's starting to be a tank right now, which doesn't surprise me. I knew eventually they were going to start putting things together. They have good pitching. They have, once they finally got those bats going, they were going to be fine. Another disappointing team, the Atlanta Braves, but I kind of expected this without Ronald Acuna. Didn't think they were going to start out like 0-7. But the Braves, you know, they'll probably be in it at the end for the wild card spot. The Mets and Phillies are a bit better starts. The Mets actually have one of the better records in baseball. You got the Cubs. Cubbies do tough schedule, and they got through it, and they got a good record, and their schedule only gets easier now, and they play in a weak division. There is a chance that they potentially have the best record in the National League going into October. I'm not sure if they do. They split with the Padres, so that was 3-3. I'm not too sure off the top of my head if they beat the Dodgers in the series or not. I don't think they did because of those two games in Japan. I think that's kind of the difference right now. Looking over the American League, Detroit's awesome to start the year. Their pitching's fantastic. Those guys hit. Javi Baez is having sort of a resurgence. It ain't like peak Javi Baez, but hey, he's not going to be like a negative 10 WAR player, which is good for them. That's all you want. Just play above replacement player level. The Yankees, good start. Max Fried is off to a fantastic start. I believe he's 6-0, sub 2 ERA. So obviously he's picking up the slack that Garrett Cole not being there anymore. Their bats are fine. AL West, we covered that. AL Central, NL Central, NL East, and overall, it's been some teams that have been bad in the past are starting to play good, and some teams that have been good in the past are starting to get a little up there in age. Say the Phillies, the Astros. So there's going to be a
Yeah.
youth movement here in baseball real soon. It's really starting to
Yeah.
show up.
It, it's really been a big infusion of use in the MLB. I feel like the ratings and overall the popularity of the game is getting picked up a lot more. But the first month of baseball, I think it went great. Obviously, as a Giants fan, I'm very excited. I think you have a lot of teams that kind of were surprising, like Detroit was surprising, the Giants were surprising. The Cubs are 21-14. That's good for baseball. Obviously, the Mets and the Yankees are both pretty good in New York. Um, I'd say really the biggest disappointment is the Orioles. Really didn't
Easily.
expect the Orioles to be as bad as they are. They're 7 games under 500. They've looked abysmal for a majority of the year so far. It's early. It's 162 games. We're only a month in. So there is time to turn it around. Maybe they can make some trades for some pitching. They can sacrifice some bats, whatever the case may be, just to be more competitive when it comes to being on the mound. But we'll see.
AL MVP so far, both of us can agree on this. It's Judge. There's no one else in his stratosphere right now. He is he is like hitting at a level above everybody, like even much better than Otani and all these other guys. He's in a whole nother stratosphere at the moment, and he's proven that he's making people think that he is the best hitter in baseball, and he is proving it right now with what he's doing on that baseball field, being the best hitter in baseball. NL
Yeah,
MVP,
I mean,
this is tough. Well, you say your point about Judge.
I mean, any guy that's batting over
And he's
300
over.
is
He's batting over 400 right now.
yeah. If you want to get technical, Aaron Judge is batting 423 right now, which is insane to think about. He's batting over 400 through the first month of baseball. He's hit 11 home runs. He has 33 RBIs. He has been dominant. I don't think anyone really expected him to be this dominant, like in terms of like what is like. Obviously, we know he can tear the baseball.
So he
That
almost has a
man can hit it.
1,300 OPS.
Yeah, he can put it in play every time. But just, I feel like the way that he's been approaching his at bats, he's not taking as many strikeouts. I think right now he has 31 strikeouts, which is mm, 31 strikeouts over 33 RBIs. I don't know. You can do your math and decide if that's good or not.
How many
But
batting
overall, I think
practices?
Aaron Judge's game is just. I think Aaron Judge's game is just really coming into like prime. Like he's
He's
already been a great player, but I think he's really hitting that stride where like Aaron Judge is just he's just a base machine. He's gonna get on base. He's gonna hit home runs. He's gonna do whatever he wants. You have to game plan around him. You have to start walking him. Aaron Judge is a game wrecker. Um, I really think Aaron Judge's biggest issue is the postseason. It seems like when we get to the postseason, that the Aaron Judge show just kind of dies. I was curious to see if we were going to see that with Shohei last year. I don't think we did. I think
We were
Shohei kind of showed up
disappointed.
when the lights. Yeah, yeah.
Love going from
Um,
being a big Shohei fan to him going to the evil empire of the West Coast, and now it is hate watch anytime he is on.
yeah. It honestly sucks that Shohei went to the Dodgers because he was really the big reason why I was into baseball. Why I really got back into it because I was like, dude, this guy's insane. Like I went to go watch him play against the A's. We went
Yeah, we sat
behind
behind home plate
home.
too. That's cool.
And it was just insane watching him play. And I didn't even want him to go to the Giants when he was like, oh, he's probably gonna leave the Angels. I was like, I don't even care if he signs with the Giants, but he just signed with the Dodgers, and I'm like, now it's like it's not a hate watch, but it is a hate. Like I hope the team loses. Like I don't want to see the team win, but I like seeing Shohei win. So it kind of sucks. But NL MVP, I'd probably say Tatis. Honestly, I was kind of juggling this one.
It's
I didn't
Tatis or
really know.
Alonso.
Yeah, Alonso, or honestly, dude, I was really thinking, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. I was really thinking like you can go Corbin Carroll as like a like early favorite
Yeah,
for like
it's a
NL
low
MVP.
key.
But I don't know. I think what Tatis is doing, you just can't argue it. Like he's a great player. He
Yeah, Scully's
is
my
the life of the
king.
Padres. He lives up to his name in everything that he does. Tatis, if we just kind of look at his stats, he's batting 328 right now. So he's over 300 for his bat.
His RBIs are
He
low
has,
though.
yeah, low RBI count,
I mean,
18
that's a
RBIs.
consequence of batting leadoff though.
Yeah, he's a leadoff batter, so we're not going to see him, a lot of RBIs. I mean, maybe on or later on in the year when everyone else gets hot, he might be able to get put in RBI situations more frequently. But 8 home runs, 8 stolen bases, that's what I like about Tatis. Obviously, Corbin is very fast too, but I love that Tatis is just an absolute. He's just a pain to deal with because if you don't want to walk him,
He needs to
you don't want
steal
to just walk
more.
him.
He really
If you
needs to
walk
steal
him,
more.
he's just gonna put a lot of pressure on your infield and on your pitcher to try to roll a double play to make sure he doesn't steal the base. So you're not just gonna walk Tatis, but you're also not just gonna pitch to him because he has home run power and he can turn a double into a triple. And sometimes, if it goes into the corner and it's just a single, for most guys it's a double. He just has the ability to just expand his base running. His base running's too elite, but his bat's too good too. So he's a very hard player. You just like if you walk Aaron Judge is not going to steal second unless you're just like asleep. But
Yeah,
you
wild
can't walk
pitch. No.
Tatis. Yeah, like you're not gonna walk like Tatis is a very hard player to game plan for because of what he's able to do on the bases, what he's able to do with his bat. He's great in the outfield too. He's got a cannon.
Yep, I got that platinum
I love
glove bobblehead.
I love Tatis. He's a great player. Are you trying to show it? Do you have it over
No,
there?
I don't have it with me. I'm just realizing that
Oh,
my nano gauntlet is it's flipping. It's set to the middle finger up, which I think anyone who has either of the two Lego gauntlets, if you don't have it, have the middle finger up, then you're doing it wrong. Because I got both of them. I got both of them, but maybe we'll do a bad takes Aaron's nerd collection. But I love Tatis, dude.
I won't be there for
He's
that.
incredible. He's incredible. He just about to get Jamar Chase levels of glaze right now. But he pretty much won the Padres the game yesterday. He doubled and he was able to steal third base, but there was no throw. And then there was a wild pitch to Xander Bogaerts, and he was able to score the winning run. It was a tight play. I'm sure most people have probably seen it on the MLB social channels. It was just awesome. He's a hell of a player, man. He's so electric, and I love when he's healthy because I feel like he is that next level type of player. And I hope Jackson Merrill can continue to grow and be as good as Tatis. Hell, I'd like him to be even better than Tatis. Uh, so
Jackson Merrill, runner
hopefully
up to
Jackson's
the
back.
NL Rookie of the Year.
Jackson should be back tomorrow. He should be back
Oh yeah,
tomorrow playing his little
runner up to
strength.
NL Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, and Paul Skeens gave up three home runs in the third inning to the Cubs. So, or was it the fifth inning? Yeah, good job, pal. While Hunter Green shoved against the Nationals, 12 strikeouts. So, yeah, Paul Skeens.
Only
So, since we're talking about pitchers, let's get into our Cy Young. NL Cy Young. It's Yamamoto, honestly. I
Green.
know we argued about Skeens and Green. Green's had a couple rough starts. Skeens has had a couple rough starts. It's funny because the rough starts, these guys like giving up 3 runs and not striking out like 6 or 7 guys.
Let me get my boy Robbie Ray.
No, hell nah, bruh. What's his
I think he's like
ERA?
4-0.
What's his ERA though? Like over
Uh,
5?
nah, let me pull up his
It's not a
stats.
sub 3.
No, it's not a sub 3. Oh, I clicked on the wrong link.
But
Okay,
Yoshiba
it's a
Yamamoto.
3.05.
Oh, that's actually not that bad. I thought it was a lot higher. But
No, he had a good game against the Rockies on the second. He had 8 strikeouts. I
Yamamoto
mean, he has
is
41 strikeouts, 3.05 ERA. Shout out Robbie Ray. Anyways, yeah, Yamamoto.
God, this is like the most satisfying scene in cinema. Just that seismic bomb going off in Attack of the Clones, dude. There's nothing like it. Just like
You
the
guys want
giant
to talk about
slogan,
Yamamoto?
nothing like it. Let's talk about the Heliot Ramos inside the park walk off where the Rangers made like 3 errors, dude. Did you catch that live? I want to say that was last
No,
Sunday.
I was driving. I forgot where I was going. I was driving to my sister's birthday party,
That
and
was insane watching that live.
yeah, and I looked at my phone and I saw that he hit a home run. I'm like, oh, cool, he got a home run. That's sick.
And then you
And
watched
then
it.
I got the next update that it was like a little leaguer, and I'm like, oh, it probably got like stuck under like the warning track or something, or like I don't know, like I didn't know what to. And then I watched it. I'm like, wow, I'd crash out. Happy for me
Terrible way
though.
to lose. Terrible way for the Rangers to lose.
That, that's a terrible. I was. It was rough. It was a rough way for them to lose for the year.
But yeah,
That game.
yeah, Yamamoto for sure in the National League. The American League gets a little bit interesting. I think I'm gonna still stick with my preseason pick, well, my spring training pick. I'm gonna stick with Garrett Crochet. He had a pretty good month. He's shoving for the Red Sox. He did get roughed up the other day. All these guys are bound to get roughed up once. It's just don't get roughed up more than like 2 times in a year and throw a couple deep games, 7 innings, double digit strikeouts. Oh, Jack is
Oh
whining.
yeah.
Blake, come get your dog.
My boy Jack is pressed right now.
The Bad Takes
He's mad that
mascot.
he's mad that we're not asleep. Yamamoto for the NL MVP. I mean, yeah, this guy has a sub 1 ERA. There's no argument. There's no
I'm a
question
bozo.
to be
Max
made
Fried
here.
is the American League guy. It's Fried, dude. He's like
And then
6-0 with a like his ERA is super low. His ERA is I have it pulled up. Yeah, he's got 1.01.
Max Fried has a 1.01
Yeah,
ERA.
it's Fried. It is not.
You know,
It's not Crochet's awesome. He's got a 2.02. His ERA is literally double Fried's, but yeah, it's been Fried. Oh god, the Padres see Fried on Wednesday. That's gonna be rough.
yeah,
But
Fried's been trick. I know it's obviously, the Yankees park. It's more of a hitter's park than a pitcher's
the
park.
Yankees lose.
Huh?
The Yankees lose.
I don't know who you're referring.
Big Poppy always says when he like said on the they got the same thing that the TNT NBA guys got. He was on it, and I don't know if they lost in the playoffs or whatever it was, but he's like, "Da Yankees lose" because of his accent. Instead of Yankees, he says Yankees.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. My fault, my fault. Yeah, Fried, baller. He's having a great year. Um, Obviously, it's way too early predictions. We're barely starting. Today's May 4th, so we're not too sure how everything's going to pan out. But I think early on, just going based off the first month, I think Yamamoto and Fried, clear cut, Cy Young guys.
Yeah,
Off to a great start. Anytime you can get through the first month of baseball, just through a month of baseball in general, and you have a sub 1 ERA or just basically a 1 ERA, you're having a great time. You can't complain.
yeah, these guys are killing it. The two front leaders we believe for MVP are killing it. This is gonna be interesting. Pretty soon here, All Star voting is gonna open up probably about midway through the month or so to really get that on board, and that's where everyone gets a better collection of stats. Everyone will have about 200 bats under their belt, so it'll be a third of the season through. But right now, I think that the NL West is going to produce the NL pennant. Will come. The NL pennant will come from the NL West. It'll be one of the four teams, maybe the Cubbies, but I think it's going to be one of the four teams for
For San
sure.
Francisco,
The AL pennant, dude, I don't know because the Yankees kind of get hot and cold. They like either put belt to ass or they don't hit.
you don't think the Mets have a chance in the NL?
They're gonna go as far as their pitching will take them. That's for sure. Because their lineup,
Forgot you don't like.
if beside put my Mets disliking bias away, outside like outside of their top guys, their lineup kind of falls off a cliff. Vientos isn't as good as he was last year. I don't know. The Mets pitching, the Mets have the best pitching staff in baseball, and I think their bullpen's been pretty damn lights out too. Because they're 22-13, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think the Cubs just have the bats to beat anybody. Their bullpen is atrocious, though. Horrible. That being said,
Hmm.
they'll fix their bullpen at some point in the season through trade deadline. So I think the Mets will be fine in that sense. But the American League feels pretty wide open. Detroit has the best record, and then the second best record would be Seattle. Then it'd be Cleveland, and then it's the Yankees. So the thing is, Cleveland seems like they just can't get over the Yankees hump for whatever reason. Detroit's going to be interesting. They're going to be another team that's going to go as far as their pitching will let them. Seattle, I believe, is another team that will go as far as their pitching will let. So when it comes to October baseball, dude, it is all about pitching. And I think that Detroit and Seattle have better pitching than the Yankees, with the exception of Max Fried. And if we look at the National League, the Giants bullpen's been pretty good because obviously they've been coming back a lot in games. It's just their starting pitching that you can attest to has not been great. And as we saw in the Padres series, where the Giants got behind early because the starting pitching wasn't great, their bullpen held it down, but their bats got hot too late. San Diego has a fantastic bullpen. Obviously, the Mets have good pitching, so I guess I can't really hate on them and say they won't make a deep run. but something just tells me that Chicago's bats are too damn good. The Dodgers are too damn good in general. The Giants are playing really good. Arizona, they're only 2 games above 500, but they'll be in it. They'll probably get hot after the break like they did last year.
Yeah, I think right now, if the season ended today, I think right now the Giants and the Padres hold the wild card spots in the NL.
Season ends today. Dodgers got the 1 seed, Mets got the 2, Cubbies got the 3. San Diego has the 4, San Francisco has the 5, Philly has the 6.
Mm. It's
National
gonna be an
League would
interesting
be
season.
well, National League would be Detroit would have the 1, Seattle would have the 2, New York would have the 3, Cleveland would have the 4, Oakland would have the 5. Oakland and Kansas City would be 5 and 6. They would be tied for 5 and 6 because Boston's the next best team. No, Houston's the next best team, and they're fifth. They're 17, 16. They're at a 515 winning percentage, whereas the Red Sox are
Mm.
500 at 18 and 18, I believe. Yeah, but I like MLB season's been cool. Padres had a little AAA lineup there for a while. Now they got a Rise back, Jason Hayward back, and Jackson Merrill and Jake Cronenworth are coming back. Merrill should hopefully be back tomorrow, Monday, May 5th. Crone, he's still nursing that injury. It might be a little bit longer for him. But it's going to be interesting. The real bloodbath's going to start when the Dodgers start playing the Giants and the Padres, of course. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, Bad Takes can take a trip to Oracle Park and go catch some of these Padres Giants games here next month. Hopefully, we could go to the Barry Bonds bobblehead game, but that might cost us an arm and a leg.
Mm. The tickets aren't that expensive normally for Giants games. Should be
Oh,
fine.
for the Barry Bonds
But yeah,
bobblehead game, it is.
oh yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I'm really excited for the baseball. Just to wrap it up, I think it's been a great first month. I think as a Giants fan, I can't complain. There is nothing that I can complain about. I think going forward, the only thing that concerns me is the starting lineup in terms of pitching. Is Hicks's arm going to be able to go the entire season? Robbie Ray and Verlander, they're a little bit older. Robbie Ray's been electric. He's been great. Webb's been great. How well is Robbie Ray, Justin Verlander, and Hicks going to be able to pitch when we start getting into August, September, July? When we start getting later on into the season, how are these guys' arms going to be? I'm not worried about our bullpen. I'm not worried about our bats right now. I think the lineup is solid. Patrick Bailey scares me a little bit with his bat, but he is the best defensive catcher in baseball, so he's always going to be the go. We'll see what happens with his bat as the season fluctuates. But starting pitching for the Giants is my only concern. But overall, I think it's been a great month. I think Giants baseball is very exciting to watch. I'm looking forward to seeing how everything else turns out for them.
Yeah. All in all, I like the Padres' hot start. You know, Xander and Manning. Manning can keep him for some power. Xander can just put the ball in play, driving runs, and just not be an absolute offensive liability. I think Padres got a chance to do some serious damage this year. Jackson's coming back. Jackson was arguably playing better than Tatis until he got hurt, and then obviously Fernandez stepped back into his role, being the best player on the field. It's gonna be interesting if they're gonna grab another bat. Gavin Sheets has been awesome as a DH. Hopefully, he can start hitting for a bit more power. I mean, he's getting the doubles, but I like to see the homers number. I'd like to see San Diego's home run numbers go up in general. They gotta be bottom 10, bottom 5 in the league in total home runs. But yeah, as for the bad takes, kind of content to expect coming out, we got the schedule release coming up on the 14th. We're going to be talking mostly the NBA playoffs, talking baseball for right now. This is unfortunately the super dead spot of the NFL season where nothing really happens until mid July, August. We will, when Blake comes back, we will do some fantasy stuff, probably talk about the rookies and that. But once it gets into August, we're going to go back full throttle, fantasy football, all that good stuff. Like I said, that's our specialty. But anything else? I mean, July is going to be interesting when we hit the MLB All Star break and we have nothing to talk about for a week. So we'll get creative for sure there.
I think a lot of right now just looking out for the MLB and the NBA playoffs. The NBA playoffs is going to be the thing we cover probably exclusively for the next month. MLB will kind of give these monthly. We're going to talk about the MLB, but we're going to be giving our monthly NL awards, like for like biggest surprise, MVP, Cy Youngs. So we're gonna be kind of doing this award theme for the month, just kind of see where we're at with the season. The next time we're on, Blake will be back. Blake is coming back from his vacation soon, so the next time the three of us start to film, Blake will be here. So that's exciting. But other than that, just look out for a lot of baseball and a lot of fantasy football and more NFL debate topics. We're going to be kind of diving into that stuff more about what we expect with the season. And then obviously the MLB and the NBA playoffs are going to be the talking points.
Can't wait for the schedule release video. Cannot wait. That's the Super Bowl day for the media teams. I can't wait to film that episode. It's gonna be a lot of fun. That'll definitely be in person. That won't be me and Darick talking over Discord or Blake. But thank you guys for watching this episode of Bad Takes. Just go ahead, keep checking out our content. I'm going to keep glazing the Patriots draft picks over on TikTok. I'm sure I'll make an edit of Will Campbell or somebody next. Maybe I'll make a Niners one to satisfy their Niner fan watchers, even though we have like no Patriot fan watchers that we know of. But all in all, just keep an eye out for new content dropping soon, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.